I'd like to greet all my fellow South Sudanese across the globe in the name of God, the creator of heaven and earth. I'd like to share with you some few points which has been actually giving me some nightly sleeps, simply because it seems to be getting worse and worse and worse in South Sudan. When the leaders of South Sudan went and had this retreat, famous retreat in Rome, and they were to reflect on all the things which has been happening as leaders, what they should be doing to lead their people, to be exemplary leaders, to be good with their people, to be loving to their people. We expected that things will be better. I was quite skeptical, but even so, there was something in me which was a bit excited. I thought, well, the Pope has intervened, and has intervened in a unique way, which I am not going to talk about now, maybe in my next video. So I thought that things will be better. Things will, that God is now looking down on us with his kind face. And maybe our leaders, seeing how the Pope is so humble, they're going also to humble themselves. And they're going to look at all the things which has been done in the past, and to see us as people who are part of them, and to see themselves as leaders who should lead the people. But unfortunately, things are so much better now, worse now, that I just can't think what's happening. It seems as if our leaders have become so arrogant because the Pope knelt down in front of them and kissed their feet. They think that they are now invincible. They didn't understand the symbolic gesture by the Pope, that when you are a leader, you should be a servant. When you are a leader, you should be the last one. You should wash other people's feet. You should serve them. So I will speak about, the point which I was telling you about, that it's getting worse. I read this article from one of the online newspapers saying that Salvatore Kiir has agreed with the sheikhs in the United Arab Emirates to send maids, housekeepers, cleaners, and street sweepers, and that he has been paid $8 million to train these people. What I am surprised about is that Salvatore Kiir is now trying to say that he's somebody who's looking after his people. On face value, yes, it looks as if he's trying to get us jobs, because this is what he has been saying. He's saying that this is state building. What I would like to say to Salvatore Kiir is that the South Sudanese women are professionals, most of them. Although, it's put on the record that we are uneducated, but they didn't look at all the South Sudanese women and girls around the world, apart from South Sudan, around the world, who are educated, who have attained all sorts of degrees which Salva Kiir does not even know about. We are now doctors. We are now professors in universities. We are engineers, teachers, nurses, all sorts of professions that you can enlist. There is nothing that has gone beyond our reach. If somebody's to collect all the data around the world about the South Sudanese women's achievement and all the degrees that they're holding, you would be very surprised. And we didn't ask for anybody to find us jobs. We know how to get jobs because we are professionals. There is a channel to follow. Even in South Sudan, there is a channel that should be followed for people to get employment. So for the president to go all the way to another country while he is the president of an independent country, to go to one of these Arab states and to say that I am able to get you servants, I am able to get you maids. First of all, I'd like to question Salva Kiir about what he has done in his own country. We are only about 8 million South Sudanese. Our country is vast. It needs a lot of work. It needs cleaning. It needs street cleaners. It needs servants. It needs all these people that he's trying to get for the sheikhs. Why should I leave my country? Why should I leave my dignity, my respect behind? Me being an African lady to go and work for the Arabs. One of the questions which I want to ask the president is, who has he been fighting all these years since 1955 up till the present time? We seceded only in 2011, and I think the president is now forgetting that we seceded from the Arabs across the border because of the slavery and because of the human rights abuse that we were under. And now he is trying to open a channel so that we go to the Arab states to be enslaved. And he particularly chose the women. Why did he choose the women? To be slaves. Why is he choosing the women particularly? And I know, I will tell you why. I will tell you why. It's because the president is himself weak. He's a weak president. He cannot do anything. The only thing that he can do is to belittle the women. And we all know that you will be able to know whether a state is strong by looking at its female citizens. If we are all going to work as slaves in the Gulf states, then we are nothing. On top of the nothing we have been, the president has reduced us to nothing, absolutely nothing, below nothing actually. How can a president of a country, an independent country, an independent state, go and make such agreements with other countries to bring slaves, to bring servants, while he has got all the cadres? The women, we are more educated than the men. It's just that because we don't have a proper statistics. I live here in the UK, and I know that if we count the men, the boys and the girls, or the young men and the young women, we will find out, quite easily that the girls or the young women surpass the boys in education. And I think that the same story is repeated in the United States, Canada, and across the globe. And even in Khartoum or in the north, we have seen so many women graduate from universities. And the same is in South Sudan. It's just that the president has got something against the women. And we are not going to allow him. We are going to fight this president who seems to have, who seems to belittle us and who seems to have a problem against the women. I don't know exactly what it is. If it wasn't because of his mother, he wouldn't have been alive. If it wasn't because of his wife, he wouldn't have been alive. I am sure that with all his recklessness, his wife is now protecting him and prolonging his life. So I don't know exactly what's wrong with this president and the women. But if he's going to fight us, we are ready to fight him back. We are ready because we are already having our own weapons, and that's education. He is not, he cannot beat us at education. He will never be able to beat us in that. And maybe that's why he's doing that. So I just want to take you back to some of the things which he has done, targeting women and belittling women and trying to humiliate the women. There is something in March 2016 which says that, which is actually written by the BBC News, that women are raped as reward for fighters. And that was actually said by the president himself. He said, why should I pay the soldiers when they can go and rape women as a reward? So I will just read. Militias allied to the South Sudanese army have been allowed to rape women in lieu of wages while fighting rebels. And that was by the UN report, and it's in the UN report now. And one of the things which the president is forgetting is that he is high up there. One day he's coming down. Anything, this is the law of physics. I don't know whether he knows it or not. Anything that goes up has got to come down. Just look across the board at your best friend, Omar al-Bashir. Who would believe that one day Omar al-Bashir will have this end? God is working. God is working. And the law of nature is working as well. When you are up and when you think that you will never come down, you are going to come down with a bang. And maybe one of the women will be in charge. You never know. That's why somebody said, words, when you use words, use them, make them tender and soft, because one day you will eat it. Mr. President, one day you are coming down. And these women that you want to humiliate and you want to sell to the Arabs so that their body parts will be used, because the Arabs, they have been using servants from all over the world, from the Philippines, So many people go there and work as servants from whatever other countries, from Egypt, etc., etc., etc. They have been using all these servants for years and years and years. Now they want to use the black people. Why? Because they need their body parts. And you know that, Mr. President, you have already been paid the $8 million because of the slavery. So you're now basically selling your own people, the women, as slaves. The Arabs don't need, more servants. They just need body parts. And that's what these women are going there for. So I beg all the South Sudanese women not to be tempted by that ploy. He has already been paid money for you to go there and to be enslaved. As soon as you go there, your passport will be taken and you will be passed from one person to another. You will be overworked, and then in the end they will slit you apart and they will take your heart, they will take your kidneys, they will take your eyes, everything. And your people will not even find your dead body because it will be flushed down the toilet. Please, whoever listens to this video will have to pass it on, translate it in all the 64 dialects of South Sudan. Please, and I know that because of the fact that I am being emotional now, I can't express things clearly, but try and do your best. When you listen to this video, this is a video which can make or break us. The president has been targeting, the heart of our family, which is our daughters. Our women are the only people who have been saving this nation. They are the people who, the whole family rotates around. Imagine a house without women. Imagine a house without mothers or daughters. So this is what he's doing. He has taken everything away from us. He has taken our livelihood. He has taken our land. He has taken our people. Now he's selling us into slavery. He has already taken the money. So when you go there, nobody's going to pay you anything. You will be used because they are asking specifically for females, so that these females will be used as sex slaves. And it has been happening. People have been coming and telling us. We have seen graphic videos of African women, I don't know, from West Africa, a woman being held head, upside down, while an Arab is putting his whole fist inside her and beating her up, saying that she has stolen money from him. This is not the way to go. If you want to die, if you want to commit suicide, then go, because your people will not find